Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. Bring back those nights when I held you beside me. Unbreak my heart. Say you love me again. Undo the hurt that you caused when you walked out my life and walked out of my life. Uncry these tears. I've cried so many, many nights. Unbreak my heart. Unbreak my heart, Muhammad. Unbreak my heart, Pedro. Unbreak my heart. This is Auntie, and I am here to do a 90-day fiance review. I want to first start off by saying, hi, this is Auntie. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I apologize for coming out earlier and then having to leave. But again, life happens. Stuff happens. And so I appreciate your patience during this time of transition and change. But I want you all to know that since we've been together, ooh, I'm loving you forever. You're all I see. Let me be the one you come running to. 'Cause I want to share my evenings with you. And let's stay together. 'Cause I'm loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Let's stay together. Loving you whether times are good, bad, happy or sad. Let's stay together. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead on and I'm going to do this review of the 90-Day Fiance. If I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 10. If I had to give it a letter grade, I would absolutely give it an A+. This particular episode, y'all, had me up, down, and out. I'm talking about wrapped around. They had me wrapped around their finger. I absolutely miss Claus. I miss Game of Thrones. I miss Big Brother. I miss every other show that I am so addicted to on a Sunday just to look at 90-Day Fiance. And it did not disappoint. It was almost like the climax to a work week. It was the show of all shows. It was the biz naive of all 90-Day Fiance episodes, and we're going to go ahead on and get into it. Okay, so we start off this episode with Danielle. Danielle is meeting with her sister and her brother-in-law. Of course, she has a little girlfriend with her, little sidekick with her, because she can't stand up on her own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? She's a hobble wobble, and so basically, she needs somebody to help her, because Danielle is absolutely on a whole different planet. She is in love with Muhammad for some dumbass reason. I don't know what the reason is, and neither do you. But at the end of the day, Danielle, it is over with Muhammad. He has no feelings for you. There's a part of me that wants Danielle and Muhammad. Well, I want Muhammad to take responsibility for what he did. Did I believe that Muhammad was here for the green card at first? I was like, no. I thought that Danielle had deceived him and so on and so forth. And I think that there is a little bit of truth to all of it. But what I think that Muhammad didn't realize is that Danielle could have lifted her leg up, like this. Went on and took some Comet and some, Mr. Clean, and cleaned that thing out for Muhammad. Muhammad could have been a little bit more patient with Danielle about that situation. I mean, they say that the Mr. Clean eraser erases everything and cleans everything. So why couldn't they just take one and just clean the pocket out? And so, just having that and the financial stuff and all of that, he's not living any better outside of living with Danielle than he is with her. Danielle is a hot mess. She sits up at the table with her sister and asks her sister and her brother-in-law if they would do affidavits against Muhammad. The sister is like, well, you know what, Danielle, I don't think that, basically you're going to, leave him. I think if he says the right thing, that you're going to go back. I'm going to go ahead and give you this affidavit. But if you don't do right by me, Danielle, don't ask me for nothing else. And so Danielle is like, okay, well, yeah, because Muhammad, I'm doing it this time. This is it. This is it. Danielle, don't none of us believe that this is it. None of us. It's a ploy to get Muhammad back into your city, Ohio, and back into that trailer park, back into that dusty house that you have, back with your 2 daughters, back with you. And Muhammad ain't having it. And then the thing about it is, later on in the episode, we see some more drama going on, but I'm going to try to stay focused. All right. So the next thing we see is Chantel. Chantel is, of course, married to Pedro. And she's talking about how the mother and basically the sister are opportunists and they, using up their money. But this is the thing. Who has not gone to a RUSS and seen foreigners from different countries buying up all the tennis shoes and the t-shirts and stuff like that in the RUSS and sending it to their country? Who doesn't see some people from different countries stocking that stuff up in their backyards and their sheds and having big 18-wheeler trucks coming to pick them up as freight to go back to their country? That's what they do. So I understand her frustration about it. I also understand that it is a cultural thing. And I think that if I was in another country and there was something that was a commodity in that country, I would be sending it back to my family too. So that right there, I don't have an issue with. I have an issue with the amount of things that Pedro is giving to his mother. And I have an issue with the mother with her attitude towards Americans. Now, this woman thinks that she's high up on the hill and that she's, a whole lot in a bag of chips and the sealant that closed the bag of chips up and the freshness thereof. And really, she's not. She's one step above poverty. As a matter of fact, she is poverty. She is walking around poverty. It is because her son is selling her stuff that she, even has an apartment. Her son brought her the apartment and moved her on up. And later on, we'll discuss the place that they was living in. So anyway, we're going to go on to the next thing. So the next thing we see is ANFISA. ANFISA has absolutely put George out of the house. He's in some type of hotel. And what strikes me yet again another week is that he coming in with one suitcase. The one suitcase thing, I don't understand. I don't understand how his life is comprised of one suitcase, that all his worldly possessions fit into one suitcase. Like if I had to move out of my home, like I would have suitcases and boxes and U-Haul trucks and storage units and all kinds of stuff. Because over time period you accumulate stuff. Why George has not accumulated anything other than what he has, I don't understand. As a matter of fact, I understand that his name isn't even George. So he's not even being upfront and real about who the crap he is about this whole thing. So he's sitting there and he's talking about, she really broke his heart and all of that kind of stuff. Whatever, George. Nobody really cares about your heart at this point. I know I don't. I don't have any feelings about George whatsoever. I think that he's a jellyback type guy, and he's just, whatever ANFISA gives him, he'll take it. And George later on goes and has a meeting with his sister and calls himself saying that, wait a minute, Auntie going too fast. Say, Auntie, slow down. Let me get me a little drink here, y'all. All right. So we see ANFISA. ANFISA is sitting at the table with her little girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, I put George out. I got enough money to last me about 3 months. So, I need my space. I need my time. When we went and met with his sister, Lourdes, he wouldn't even, back me. He wouldn't support me. He wouldn't do anything. So I don't want to be with him anymore. And so the girlfriend was like, yeah, girl, take your time. Matter of fact, you pretty girl, get you some Botox, bump up your lips and everything. And Fiza's like, yeah, I think I want to get some hair. I think I want to get some hair. And she was like, you're a pretty girl, honey. We live in Orange County. You can get you anybody you want to get. And she's like, oh, okay, really? Well, I ain't ready. I don't know if I'm ready for that quite yet. I think that George still has a little bit of juice left in that lemon that I'm squeezing. And so as long as I can get something squeezed, out of that, I'm going to stay. And so the girlfriend is like, okay, well, girl, I'm just telling you for the future. You know what I'm saying? For the future, that may just work out for you. So she's like, okay. And she's like, okay. And they like, okay. And they leave the restaurant. We see Lauren talking to her mother-in-law about staying in the country. I really wasn't interested in a whole lot of stuff that she was talking about. I know that she wants the mom to move here. She wants to bring the whole family here. They sit down with the lawyer, and the lawyer basically tells them, you can bring your mom here. That's not a problem. He can sponsor his mom here. But the brother, on the other hand, who is Alexa, the youngest brother, Alex, his youngest brother, he's like, it's going to take up to 13 years to get him over here. And so the mother reconsiders her decision to stay in the country, because who's going to leave their child behind? He's in school and all of that kind of stuff, and he's not able to be on his own. So basically that's a recap of what's going on with Lauren. And so we're going to move into the ones that got the drama with him, okay? How about that? So now so the next thing we see is PAOLA and her husband RUSS. And she's in Miami, and she's still talking about, him being in, her staying in Miami and so on. So they go to the talent agency that she has signed up for. Now see, this is the thing about having another half, because even though Russ is having a problem with adjusting to her being out here with this particular, being out here in Miami and all of that kind of stuff, he did have enough sense for her to convince her to go back to the talent agency and confront the lady as to why you're not working. You out here dyeing your hair, you out here losing weight, and you out here without your husband, and you hanging out with Juan, but you're not making any money either. See, she wants to turn a frown up. Her and her friend Juan wanted to turn her frown up at Russ, but you ain't making no money either. The lady didn't even have you in the database. So they ended up catching the talent agent lady, and PAOLA is saying, well, why aren't you calling me? The talent lady is like, when you were supposed to, go on and link on and do all of this kind of stuff on email. I sent you a link for you to link, you know, to look for jobs and stuff. And so she's like, okay, well, we're going to sit here while you go to your computer and see where this email is. Come to find out, she's not even in their database. So then she tries to tell PAOLA that the reason why she's not getting jobs is because her photo shoots are not sexy. God damn, what do you want her to do? You want her to be, you know, have her butt just completely naked on them? She did look sexy, but her hair wasn't blonde. So she's like, okay, well, since we caught you in your lie, we're going to sit here with you, and me and my husband going to sit here with you, and we're going to do what we got to do in order to make sure you do what you got to do. See, PAOLA, that's why you need your husband, because your husband knows the American way. He knows when companies are shiesty and when they not. And he was able to read this woman's card. So you know what? As far as you are concerned, running around thinking that you all this and that and the other, you know, come on. You need your husband, Russ. And Russ, it seems like he is trying to be as supportive as he can with his Oklahoma traditional ways. But you know what? At the same time, he does have a little bit more wisdom. So, PAOLA, I need you to understand and listen to your husband, sweetie pie. You're not all that. There's so many other women who look just like you or better. There's going to have to be something else about you that stands out. And right now, I don't know what that would be. So, I digress, and we're going to go ahead on and move on off of her. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back and we're going to clear up, we're going to wrap up Danielle's story. Now, as I told you all earlier, Danielle was sitting with them, her sister and her brother-in-law. So next we see Danielle, you know, basically going to get a dress for the court. Lord Jesus, y'all. That dress looked like a hot tail mess. I just was like, okay, Danielle, God dang. Not only are you just jacked up looking in the face, like all this right here is tore up, but so is your body, so is your personality, everything about you. You came out there with a dress that looked better than you have ever looked, but it was, you know, it was a step up for you, but it was an Old Navy for somebody else. I just was like, you know, come on. If you want to impress the judge, put a nice suit on, nice, you know what I'm saying? But what you had on, Danielle, looked fine. Danielle has been Facebook stalking Diamond. Diamond is the black girl who's a friend of Muhammad. She's been Facebook stalking this girl and telling her different things about Muhammad, calling herself, quote unquote, warning this girl about him. Look, damn it, if you give me one warning, that's all I need. I don't need you to blow up my phone all day. Diamond decides to call Muhammad and put a stop to it. Look, Muhammad, I need you to meet me. So Muhammad comes into the restaurant. He meets Diamond. And Diamond is like, look, Danielle, while I'm at work, my phone is going off. And it's going off all day long. Danielle has been blowing me up on Facebook. Muhammad, you in danger. Muhammad is like, oh, I feel unsafe. People have been saying that they're going to find me and they're going to do this to me and that to me. Probably, you know, some of the president's supporters. But anyway, Danielle is obsessed with him. Then she goes out there. Diamond says that Danielle has been putting stuff out there to say that she looks like a man. And Diamond says she wish I did. I know that's right, Diamond. She sure do wish you did. Because you know what? She had just sat there on the last episode and told her girlfriend that he's going from one beautiful girl to another beautiful girl, and then to another girl who's even more beautiful. And guess what, Diamond? She's talking about you. Bloop. But it doesn't seem like there's a romantic relationship between Muhammad and Diamond. And it doesn't seem like there's a romantic relationship really between Muhammad and any of the girls. I think that he likes American girls. He's curious about it. He wants to date. He wants to find love. But basically, nobody really wants to mess with him because he's got all this stigma on him. So Danielle, you know, she's back home in Ohio getting ready for the court date because the court date is coming up. And so we see Muhammad packing and leaving because he doesn't feel safe anymore. And Muhammad, you shouldn't feel safe. Muhammad feels like, you know, He can go out there on Facebook and he can say stuff about her, but at the end of the day, you're in our country, Muhammad. You have to realize that you're going to have to do this thing the American way, and you're not going to come over here and be cocky and all of that kind of stuff. You're going to have some serious evidence, and Danielle alleges that she has some serious evidence against Muhammad. So I guess that we will be looking out here, y'all, to see what actually happens between them. Now I'm getting ready to go back to Chantel and Pedro. Chantel's family, they go out to Dominican Republic to meet with the mother. They get to the airport. Before they left, Pedro had brought the mother a flat screen TV. I don't know how many inches it was. It didn't say. He tells Chantel, I need you to buy him a laptop. She said, I don't even have a laptop. I'm sleeping beside the kitchen. My laptop is running slow, and you want me to buy your mother a new one. This is what we do. The American money is more expensive. It goes further in Dominican Republic. So Chantel really has a problem with the way that Pedro is spending the money. And Pedro don't hear her. He don't give a rat's ass about what she says, about anything. Do you hear me? He don't care what she says. So they get to the airport. They fly out. The family, the sister, the brother, River, the mom and the dad, Chantel and Pedro. They get to the airport. The sister jump up in Pedro's arm like they having some type of incestuous relationship, and so does the mom. The mom says Pedro was the man of the house. Really? He's your son. He's not the man of your household. But okay, I digress so I can get through this story. All right, so they give, the mother and the father and everybody a little dry hug. The first thing they say after they hugging is, where's the TV, Pedro? Pedro tries to tell them and Chantel that the TV was too big to get on the airplane. They going off. They flicking off in the airport. So the mother and the father, of course, they see this. But see, this is the stuff that Chantel hid from her parents. Young people, don't hide stuff from your parents. Yes, you feel like you don't want to hear them. You feel like you grown. You feel like everything that's coming out of their mouth is negative. Everything that's coming out your parents' mouth is not negative. Probably 5% of what's coming out your parents' mouth is negative. The other 95% of it is out of care and concern because they've seen this, done this, been there, worn this. Come on. You're not listening. Now you starting to listen. But anyway. So the mother is like, okay, this is the same woman that sat up there and, called me a dumb American. You know what I'm saying? That I got mental illness, okay? Because I made him sign a prenup agreement. I ain't that damn mentally ill. I knew better than to have him come over here and snatch all my daughter's stuff from her. That's what I do know. And I don't care if you got a problem. So they goes to the parents' house. They drop their stuff off at the hotel and they go to the mother and the sister house. The sister is very disrespectful. She says stuff out of her mouth. See, her and her mother, they sisters. They not mother and daughter, they sisters. So they go to the house. And guess what the mother feeds them? Chicken feet and chicken neck on a plate. And the mother, the American family, was like, what the fuck is this? Excuse my language. What's this? As I would have. What is this? This is what you gonna feed me? I come over here hundreds of miles and you gonna give me some fried chicken feet and some chicken neck? And the mother and the daughter is laughing. But wait a minute, child, I ain't even got to the kicking yet. So Chantel is like, look, you don't give my mother nothing like that. That's disrespectful. So Pedro says something to his mother. That's what Dominicans eat. That ain't what the hell they serving at the restaurants, in the resorts for Dominicans, at the Dominican Republic. Stop lying. That is not the... That is not the meal that a Dominican will want you to say, this is what we eat. This is where our culture is. We are so poor that that's what we eat. So the mother's like, but that's about roots. When they do a lot of witchcraft and stuff, they use chicken feet. The mother and the daughter think it's funny, but when somebody say something to them, because the mother stepped to her and was like, yeah, you must think I'm stupid. You must think I'm a stupid American. And she's like, you must have thought my son, you judged my son and had my son sign some stupid paper. You didn't know him. So in between, they trying to translate. And you know what Chantel says? When I came here and I met them, they didn't serve me no daggone chicken feet and chicken neck. And I mean, you know, it looked horrible. The chicken claws is all like this, and they got the nerve to have it look like it's flour, got flour on its batter, like it's some damn chicken nuggets. Don't nobody want that. The chicken nugget look like they was sausage or something. Who the hell eats that? Don't nobody eat that. Not in this day. This 2017. Who's still eating stuff like that? So anyway, the mother says, you know what? We up out of here. We gone. We ain't hungry. We don't want nothing to eat. But I tell you what, I'm not a dumb American. And yeah, I made your son sign a prenup agreement. And you know what? I did the right thing concerning that. Bling! To the mother off a plastic cup. So, excuse me, y'all. So, after that, Chantel stays around. She's like, I'm going to stay around because I want her to know how disrespectful that was. Let me tell y'all something. When they sat down to eat dinner, the mother and the daughter, they didn't touch the chicken feet and they didn't touch the chicken necks and shoulders. They said they don't eat that stuff. Ain't that a mother for you? So you really was giving them something out of a disrespect. You was trying to make them feel like they were the bottom of the barrel because you got a nice apartment. Chantel has finally opened her eyes up and seen that Pedro is in the United States of America to take care of his family. I don't know whether or not I mentioned to y'all that I thought that Pedro wasn't. Pedro is here for the green card. He is absolutely here for the green card. He's absolutely here. They go back to the grandmother's house. It takes 5 hours to get to that Marty Dottie. When they get to that Marty Dottie, it look like they in some daggone backyard back slaying, some daggone adios amigos outhouse type looking trash ass trailer. Y'all, let me tell you, it was a complete and total shack. It was leaned to the side. It looked like Hansel and Gretel was fighting up in that Marty Dottie, and everybody lost the fight. You understand what I'm saying? The daggone siding was hanging off. I don't even know if you could call that siding. The shutters were sitting up like this. How the hell you gonna take somebody? See, you know what? So that's why the mother think that she's all that in a bag of chips, because from where they came from, it was down. It was low to the ground. They was cooking outside on a big black pot, cutting up fresh onions and plantains and all of that kind of stuff, straight up out the damn dirt. And you know what? Pedro, mother pimped him to come to the United States, marry Danielle for a better life, for a green card, to come over here and do what he had to do. The parents, they had dogs that was running around there that looked like hyenas, or whatever you call them. They look like wolves, straight up off the mountain. Oh, okay. So you know what? The family never got out the van. They was too scared. The place was dilapidated. It looked like a purity, like I can't even describe how deplorable the house was. And they wanted the family to eat there. You cutting up fruit and vegetable for me, and it still got the root and the dirt on it. And I don't see nothing out here where you can sanitize your hand. You've got to been lost your mind if this is where you think that I'm gonna sit and eat at. And the parents talk to her. They finally get down to Chantel. And they say, you've been hiding stuff. This man don't mean you no good. He's using you. His mother and his sister have a 3-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms. And she's living in a studio apartment right outside of the kitchen. And Pedro stands up there, goes back and forth. They arguing. The family is talking about her like a dog. You're a Dominican son. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of your family here. Ain't that a mother for you? I was done. Stick a fork in me, Auntie was done. And now we go back to George. George sits up there and has a conversation with his sister and talks about the physical abuse that he is going through with ANFISA. And he had the nerve to tell his sister that he left. You didn't leave. You got put out. So you can't even sit with your sister and tell the truth. You a lying bastard. You lied before you met ANFISA. You lied when you met ANFISA. You lied when you brought her over here on the K-1 visa. You lied when you married her. And you're still lying. You want ANFISA back. But now you want to play the dirty card. You want to go to your sister and talk about ANFISA now. You's one lying big fat bastard. And I don't have no respect for you, George. Or whoever you are. Whatever your real name is. Because you lied to us. You got us thinking that you one person and you not. You play the innocent card, the victim card with your sister. And talk about ANFISA. And at the end of the day, when she calls back and she comes back, you're going to be right there. The sister says, I'll believe he's leaving her when he leave her. He ain't leaving ANFISA. He's still with her. He's still Snapchatting and Instagramming. He's a dumb... He's about a dumb bitch. Okay? I said it. I couldn't even hold it in no longer. Okay? This episode really showed people for who and what they really were. And like I said, I give it a cotton freaking A+. ANFISA is gone. She put him out. She said she got 3 months. So maybe by month 2, when her money start running low, she'll go back to him. And you know what he'll be doing? With his dog leash around his sorry ass neck. That's what he's gonna do. Paolo and Russ, Paola and Russ, they're gonna work out for a while, as long as he convert to what she wanna do, because she will never convert and be what he want her to be. Let me tell y'all something. Chantel, it's over with Pedro. You have pulled his card. You found out who he is. You went to look at his house. It was dilapidated. They had laughing hyenas out there and everything running up there, and they thought that them was dogs. I don't know if they had leashes around their necks or what it was, but the dogs were sure ready for something to eat. And let me tell you something, Pedro don't love you. He stood up in front of his family and was like, I brought her a $3,500 wedding ring. You didn't buy her nothing. She brought that with her own credit. So you haven't done anything, Pedro, but got a green card and got a job. And so now I understand why some of these people feel like they want to annul it and want to send them back to their countries. But guess what? At the end of the day, they here now. And they going to reap what they sow. So if they came here with malicious intent and intent only to get the green card, it's not your responsibility to enact justice on them. Justice will be served. Trust me and believe me, justice will be served. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate your patience, your kindness, your love, and everything. If you are not a subscriber, why not? Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what your predictions are concerning Muhammad and Danielle. Is it going to get a no, or are they going to get a divorce? Do you really care? We all care. I love you all. Good night. Bye.